All right, ready to dive into some of the latest AI news?
Always. Let's see what we've got here.
It looks like we've got a pretty interesting mix today. AI's energy consumption, some cool new stuff happening with video generation, even some potential shakeups in the tech world.
Oh, like what?
Well, some pretty big partnerships might be going in some unexpected directions,
Interesting. Sounds like we've got a lot to unpack.
for sure. But as always, we're going to cut through all the technical stuff and try to figure out what it all actually means.
The big picture.
Exactly. So first up, one of the articles talks about Andrew Ng's take on how fast AI is developing.
Andrew Ng. Always interesting to hear his perspective.
Right. And he's really hitting on the importance of getting feedback quickly.
Makes sense. In AI, you need to be able to prototype quickly, get feedback from users, and then refine things. The faster, the better, really.
Yeah. He even talks about all sorts of different ways to gather feedback, like just chatting with friends all the way up to huge A/B testing. Pretty wide spectrum.
Wow, that's a good point. You don't always have to overthink it.
But here's where things get really interesting. The article then goes on to say that Amazon, Google, and Microsoft are putting tons of money into get this nuclear power.
Nuclear power. What's the connection with AI?
It's all about meeting AI's huge energy demands.
Hmm.
Apparently, it's just skyrocketing.
That makes sense. AI needs a lot of power.
Uh,
But nuclear, that's a big decision.
yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it's really reliable, and it doesn't produce carbon emissions. That's got to be a win for companies trying to be more sustainable.
Right. But on the other hand, there are all those safety concerns from the past, and we still haven't really figured out what to do with nuclear waste.
It's a tough call, for sure. But it really shows you just how much energy we're talking about here.
Yeah, no kidding. It really underscores the need for some new innovations in both how we produce energy and how we use it more efficiently.
Absolutely. This is definitely something we're going to want to keep an eye on. Okay, ready to switch gears for a minute. Let's talk about Microsoft and OpenAI.
Oh.
Remember how everyone was calling their partnership the best bromance in tech?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It seems like such a perfect match at the time.
Right. And it was super successful at first. OpenAI got access to all of Microsoft's computing power, and Microsoft got to integrate OpenAI's models into their products. Win-win, right?
Definitely seemed that way, but I have heard that things might be changing.
Yeah, there are some rumors going around. This article dives into some of the growing pains they're experiencing. Like, apparently they're clashing over resources, leadership, and there might even be some competition brewing between them.
Huh, that's interesting.
And get this, OpenAI is now partnering with Oracle to get even more computing power.
Wow, that's pretty telling.
Oh, and Microsoft just hired Mustafa Suleyman, who's a top guy at Inflection AI.
Yeah.
And they're a direct competitor to OpenAI.
Really? It makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
Right, is this just a natural progression for successful partnership, or are things starting to fall apart?
And if they do split, what does that mean for the whole AI landscape? It's hard to say.
Definitely something to watch closely. Both Microsoft and OpenAI are major players in the AI world. Whatever happens between them is going to have a big impact on the industry.
Agreed. So what's next on the list?
Well, speaking of shaking things up, how about we move on to a company called Mistral AI? They're a French company that's making waves by challenging those big U.S. tech giants we were just talking about.
Oh, how so?
Well, they're all about Edge AI. Basically, they're developing smaller, more efficient language models that can run on devices like smartphones and laptops, even without a constant internet connection.
Interesting approach. So instead of relying on those massive data centers, they're bringing the power of AI directly to the user.
Exactly. Their new models, Minstrel 3B and Minstrel 8B,
Mhm.
are designed specifically for that.
I bet that's attractive for a lot of applications.
Oh, yeah. And here's a really cool part. Minstrel 8B Instruct is open source, so any developer can use it.
Wow, that's huge. Opens up a lot of possibilities.
Right. It makes AI way more accessible. Think about things like self-driving cars, smart home devices, even personalized healthcare apps. All of that could benefit from Edge AI.
Yeah, Edge AI can make things faster, more private, and more reliable, especially when you don't have a good internet connection.
Exactly. And by focusing on efficiency and accessibility, Mistral is really shaking things up. It's kind of like a David and Goliath story, this small French company going up against the biggest names in tech.
I love it. I'm always rooting for the underdog. And it'll be interesting to see if they can actually change the game.
Me too.
Oh.
Okay, one last topic for this part. Let's talk about video generation. It's been a bit of a challenge in the AI world because it takes so much computing power. But there are some researchers who are finding ways to make it faster and cheaper.
Oh, that's great news. Video generation has so much potential.
Right. And this team of researchers from Peking University, Guizhou Technology, and Beijing University of Posts and Telecommunications have developed a new technique called pyramidal flow matching.
Pyramidal flow matching. I'll have to look into that.
It basically cuts down on the amount of processing power needed, both for training the models and for generating the videos.
That's a big deal. I imagine that could really open things up for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And they're even planning to make their model and training code open source, which could really democratize video generation. Imagine filmmakers, educators, even everyday people being able to create high-quality videos easily.
Wow, that's amazing. It could really change the way we tell stories and create content.
It's super exciting to think about.
Wow.
And as video generation becomes more accessible, who knows what kind of creativity we'll see.
I can't wait to find out.
This is all so cool.
Yeah.
So far, we've talked about AI's growing energy demands, the drama with Microsoft and OpenAI, the rise of Mistral AI and their edge AI focus, and these awesome breakthroughs in video generation. But we've only scratched the surface.
There's still so much more to explore, like the future of AI itself, its impact on jobs, and all the ethical considerations that come with this technology.
We'll dive into all of that in the next part, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break.
See you soon. Welcome back. Let's jump right back into our AI exploration.
So where do we want to start?
Well, I think one of the biggest things on everyone's minds is what all of this means for jobs.
Yeah, it's a valid concern. As AI gets better at doing more things, it's natural to worry that some jobs might disappear.
Right, but it's important to remember that this isn't the first time technology has disrupted the job market.
Yeah, good point. Like, think about the Industrial Revolution. It changed everything.
It definitely did. Some jobs became obsolete, but a whole bunch of new opportunities opened up in new industries.
It's kind of like that with AI too, right?
Exactly. Some jobs might go away, but new ones will emerge in areas like AI development, data science, and all sorts of AI-related services.
So it's not necessarily about jobs vanishing, but about them changing.
And adapting. It's crucial that we prepare people for these changes through education, training, and upskilling programs.
Totally agree. We need to give people the tools to thrive in an AI-driven world.
Absolutely. It's all about lifelong learning and being adaptable.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential impact on jobs. But what about the really exciting stuff happening at the cutting edge of AI research?
Oh, there's so much going on. One area that's really captivating is the pursuit of artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI. That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound futuristic, but researchers are making real progress toward creating AI systems that can perform any intellectual task that a human can. Basically, AI with human-level intelligence.
Wow, that's incredible. What would the implications of that even be?
Well, the possibilities are almost limitless. AGI could revolutionize healthcare, education, manufacturing, transportation, pretty much every industry you can think of.
It's like unlocking a whole new level of problem-solving and innovation. We could solve problems we haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly. And it could even accelerate scientific discovery, helping us understand the universe in ways we never imagined.
That's mind-blowing. But I imagine there's some challenges too, right?
Oh, for sure. AGI raises some pretty profound ethical and philosophical questions.
Like what?
Well, for example, we'd have to consider what it means for a machine to have consciousness. And how do we ensure that AGI aligns with human values? These are big questions that we need to start thinking about now.
It's not just about the technology, but about how we use it and what kind of future we want to create with it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of pushing boundaries, another exciting area of research is neuro-inspired AI.
Neuro-inspired AI. Haven't heard of that one.
It's a field that draws inspiration from the human brain, its structure, and how it functions to develop new AI algorithms and architectures.
So are they basically trying to create AI that thinks more like us?
In a way, yes. By understanding how the brain processes information and learns, they believe they can create AI systems that are more efficient, adaptable, and robust.
Makes sense. So what kind of real-world applications could we see with neuro-inspired AI?
Well, it could lead to significant advances in robotics. Imagine robots that can navigate complex environments and interact with the world in a much more natural, human-like way.
That would be incredible. And what about other areas?
It could also revolutionize things like computer vision, natural language processing, and machine learning. It really has the potential to impact a wide range of fields.
It sounds like the possibilities are endless. This is all so fascinating. It really feels like we're on the verge of a technological revolution driven by AI.
I think we are. And as AI keeps evolving, we can expect even more groundbreaking discoveries and applications in the years to come.
Agreed. So what's next on our AI adventure?
Well, in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to look ahead to the future of AI and what it might mean for humanity as a whole. We'll discuss the potential benefits and the risks, the importance of regulation, and those crucial ethical considerations that will shape this transformative technology.
Okay, so we've explored all these amazing advancements in AI, but where is this all heading? What does the future hold?
That's a big question everyone's asking.
I know I am. We always see
Huh?
those sci-fi movies where AI takes over the world, either for good or for bad.
Yeah, those make for exciting stories. But the reality is probably going to be way more complicated.
I think so too. So what do you think? Is AI going to save the world or destroy it?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do think AI has the potential to help us solve some of our biggest challenges.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, think about climate change. AI could help us develop more sustainable energy sources, optimize our resource usage, and even predict and mitigate the effects of climate change.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Or how about healthcare? AI could help us diagnose diseases earlier, develop personalized treatments, and even accelerate drug discovery.
Those are some pretty big wins. But let's be real, there are also some risks involved with AI, right?
Of course, no technology is without its risks, and with AI, the stakes are particularly high.
Right. We already talked about how AI could potentially disrupt the job market. And then there's the whole thing about AGI, artificial general intelligence.
And we can't forget about the potential for misuse. AI could be used to develop autonomous weapons, for mass surveillance, or to spread misinformation and propaganda.
So how do we make sure AI is used for good and not for harm?
That's where ethical guidelines, regulations, and governance frameworks come in. We need to make sure AI is developed responsibly and that its benefits are shared widely.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but about how we choose to use it.
Exactly. It's about making choices that benefit all of humanity, not just a select few. And it's a conversation that we all need to be a part of.
So what can our listeners do to get involved?
Well, first and foremost, stay informed. Read about AI, learn how it works, and think critically about its potential impact. And then get involved in the conversation. Talk to your friends, family, and colleagues about AI. Share your thoughts and concerns.
That's great advice. Any other thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, just remember that the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's a future that we are actively shaping with every choice we make.
That's a really powerful thought. So to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
And remember, the conversation doesn't end here. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and stay curious about the incredible possibilities that lie ahead.
Until next time.